Klee is coming back to Genshin Impact. Now, I know a lot of you guys are excited out there. Big Firebomb girl, but is she still worth your pull? And what could keep you from wanting her on your team? Now, maybe you're new to Genshin Impact or you didn't really realize how you had to play to make Klee actually worth pulling for. That's what we're going to be talking about today, as well as a couple of other caveats that you need to have ready and willing to know about the character. Now, the first thing you guys need to know about Klee is that she is actually pretty hard to play. She's pretty specific when it comes down to your playstyle with her. One thing that you're definitely not going to want to do with this character is this. So when you see people say Klee is strong, it's not because you're just sitting there spamming your auto attack. She's very animation cancel focused. So you see tier lists out there going, man, Klee's really strong. That's because they're taking the assumption you know how to play the character. So instead of just spamming your attacks, she's got a couple of different animation cancels you guys need to be able to do. Now, there's the basic ones where it's the jump cancel. You guys have seen this one. This one's very easy to do. Is it the best one? No, but it does help you with the mobility. So if you need to learn how to do this, that's something you're gonna need to learn how to do. The other one is the machine gun Klee animation cancel. Now, this one is a little bit more difficult to do, but it basically auto cancels into your S1 over and over and over and over. If you can't master this technique, you're gonna be spamming stuff like this. And you see just how much slower that is. There's also another one that you guys need to get down, and that is the auto attack, the M1, right? The normal attack into your charge attack into another animation cancel for your number one attack again. So we have the animation cancels ready to go, right? We're spamming out, but you can do this into this and then go right back into it again. So that's another thing you guys are going to have to master to make this character worth your while. Obviously, we have another 1.6 Klee guide video. She got new books and stuff coming out for free. That book is really strong with that catalyst. But if you guys can't master those three basic things on its own, you're not going to be wanting to play this character. So if that's not the play style that you want to do, animation cancel, that's nothing that you want to do, she's not going to be as strong for you as if you know how to do all that stuff, and she's not going to be as good on your account. So maybe you want to save your primogems for something else. Now, another thing you might want to be thinking about if you are using these characters in some other team composition, or you don't want to use these characters tier list for Klee where she's rated really highly, they're always talking about her with Xingqiu. Now, Xingqiu is going to be a prominent member in this team because he has his elemental burst. It's going to allow you to vaporize all those different little cancels over and over and over. Vaporize, 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 vaporize. That is what makes her so strong. The animation cancels with the Xingqiu elemental burst plus vaporize spam. Very good stuff there. Then if you don't have an Animo character leveled up here, Venti, or if you have it on your account leveled up, Sucrose is insanely powerful with Klee because you give her a bunch of elemental mastery with an elemental mastery Sucrose build. Klee gets elemental mastery. You're vaporizing, which gives you bonus damage on top of that. You can kind of see what Klee is doing here, and this is really the team composition where she's rated really highly and where she's going to maximize all of her damage. If you don't have any of this stuff left at the end of the day, she might not be worth your primogem. Now, obviously, if you just like her because she's a cool character, you just want her to have on your account, no one should ever tell you that you shouldn't pull for a character because you like them. If you like a character, you like a character. However, if you're talking about, is it going to be good for me? Is it going to be worthwhile? I'm free to play for my primogems, or should I say for a future character? If you're not willing to play her the way she needs to be played, you don't have the stuff on your account that really sort of boosts her to the next level of being good, then that's definitely something that you should take into account if you're pulling for specific characters that'll be worth your very precious currencies, primogems, resources to level the character up, all that stuff in Genshin. That's something you need to ask yourself. So balance those two things as well. If you're on the fence, do you like the character but you do not like to play that way? And is that going to affect how much you like using her overall? Now, another thing that we need to talk about Klee is her constellations. Real quick, in case you had her before, which ones are worth it, which ones are kind of traps here. So the first one here is going to be Chain Reaction C1. It is pretty good here. You do 120% of sparks and splashes damage. You have a certain chance to proc this when you use your skill or your auto attack, your charge attack. Any of that stuff can proc this, which is another reason why you really want to get in there on those animation cancels, because the more often you hit, the higher odds you have to proc this one. So it's going to be free damage for you over time, but you really want to get those animation cancels down if you're going to go for the C1. Is it necessary? No way, no sir, no how. Explosive frags here though, this is the one that everyone really loves. Now, it does have a downside, so let's talk about that. This is attached to the little bombs that the jumpy dumpies are after you hit them with the big mine. Now, if enemies run into these little bombs, 23% decreased defense for 10 seconds. The downside here is it's really kind of hard to bait enemies sometimes, right? The archers are like walking away from you. The guys that throw things from the minor association club walking away from you. Things are charging across the map. What you really need to do with this stuff is you need to have that good old sucrose in your team and pull the enemies and the bombs at the same time towards each other and make them detonate. So if you're going for C2, you don't have sucrose leveled up, you don't plan on using sucrose with there, really rethink this one, because a lot of the times they're right, Venti somehow, for some reason, very strong character, does not pull these mines up into his ult or anything like that. So you're gonna be pulling the enemies up above the mines, and they'll probably drop on them afterwards, but you're doing all your damage during his elemental burst. So that's something you have to really think about on its own. You're not playing with any sort of animal character, no way to dislocate or relocate enemies. You're gonna be feeling like you pulled and spent your pity on this, and it's really not doing all that much for you. So it's really team composition dependent. You have to run her with some sort of animo character. Well, who cares, C2 or not, everyone really knows that Jumpy Dumpy is there, so you can get 2 genes in your co-op gameplay with a Klee and play some volleyball. It's getting summer, you know it's time. Now the one that everyone's gonna be asking us about as well is gonna be Sparkly Explosion, her Constellation 4. Is this worth multiple pities? I really love Klee. Should I go for this one? I don't care about any other characters coming up. Don't care about Inazuma. Don't care about Kazuha. Don't care about anybody. Didn't care about Eula. Didn't care about Zhongli. Already had him. Is this worth going for? Now this one here, when you leave the field during the duration of Sparks and Splash or Elemental Burst, you do 555% of your attack as AoE power damage. Is this good? It depends, right? There's a different kind of build you can do for this, and whether it's good just in your generic, right, Xingqiu Sucrose build could be good as well, because it depends on how many enemies are out on the field at the end of your elemental burst. How many enemies are there on the entire abyss floor or whatever sort of event you're doing. If you're doing so much damage with your Xingqiu Sucrose Vaporize team that there's like 2 dudes left, you're hitting 2 dudes for this. Yeah, you can make a nice screenshot, put it up on YouTube, right? Do a DPV, get in there and do a DPV build, damage per views out there. But look at my Klee doing 900k damage. Great. But really, when in all actuality, in some random hilly churl, sometimes you're gonna have this really nice setup where it's like you wiped out a whole bunch of wave, your ult's still up, and then they all just spawn right on you, and you just get out of there and you blow them all up. That's gonna be fantastic. That'll be great for you there. But it's gonna be a hit or miss sort of thing, depending on what you're fighting, how fast you're defeating things, how many things respawn after you defeat X amount of enemies. So this could be good for you, but it could be bad for you at the same time. Is it worth multiple pities? Is it worth going from C2 to C3 to C4? That's a lot of pities for an ability like this that can make a nice little click view. It's really hard for me to justify saying, yeah, dude, go for that C4. It'll be good sometimes. When you have like C1 and C2, those are good. They're always active. They're working with the main build for your girl out here. They're not DPV constellations, they're DPS constellations, damage per second. We're getting in there with C1 and C2, where C4 is just like, I want to make a one big number every once in a while. Did that big number matter? I'm not sure. Depends. Sometimes it'll be good, sometimes it'll be bad, and I can't see that being up to 4 pities worth of primogems. You see what I'm saying? Now, the last thing you guys have to think about is the new weapon coming out. The new weapon, we're gonna have to cover that in an entirely other video. I'm trying to get that one up to date as well. It is very good. So if you're a free-to-play player, you want to put all these things down, you got your pity ready for Klee, you're ready to do all the animation cancels, you're ready to master that, you have the Sucrose, you have the Xingqiu ready to go, both 4-star characters, you're ready to do all that stuff. I don't have a book ready, I don't have a catalyst. That's going to be supplied to you as well during 1.6, and it's going to be a really good one. So if you want to see that video, go check that video out later tonight. I'll get that one up for you guys. It's going to be a banger book. All right, huge catalyst DPS 4-star. So check that one out. If you want to see more Genshin stuff, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.